The last essay you're going to write this semester is the problem solution essay, and it's a very useful essay format. Often, instructors ask you to write persuasive essays, and there are different ways that you can do this. But I thought I would ask you to write the problem solution essay this time because it is so practical and so useful in so many instances in your life. Uh, so, not unlike other essays in which you're given the opportunity to come up with the topic all your own, you're going to think hard, long and hard, about a topic that might be something you care deeply enough about to be persuasive. But with a problem solution paper, it's easier because A, you care about it, and B, the problem is small enough so that you have an idea of a solution that might work best for it. The beauty of the problem solution essay is that it is useful. You'll find yourself using this approach in college, at work, in the community, and in your personal life. It's a kind of writing that lends itself to subtitles and bulleted items. It's generally easy to read and fun to write, and not only that, people like to read these kinds of essays because it isn't kind of amorphous. There's a purpose to this, and we like seeing problems solved. It'll make you feel good when you come up with a workable solution to a pain in the neck problem. So, if you're working, the problem you might want to handle might be how to handle increasing employee turnout, or how to fix a morale problem in your department, how to handle slowdowns due to vacations during the summer months and over the winter holiday season. If you're in the community, you might want to write about how to increase how the increasing student population for elementary schools is going to affect the limited resources that you have, or how to handle a large bequest for the community. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to buy a piece of sculpture, or do you want to handle the potholes? At home, and I'm not suggesting this one, but you use this approach whenever you think about the limited resources you have and your need for new windows, a new bathroom, or a new roof. Try and stay away from problems in your personal life unless they are ones that involve the ability to do some research. So, for example, you might write in terms of um, two career families who have young children. What are the best solutions for the children during the hours when the parents are still working and the kids are not in school? That's something that you can research, and you take it away from a personal problem and make it a localized problem, but one that affects a lot of people. So, in a nutshell, it's persuasive. You have to identify the problem, one you can fix. So, not like poverty or health insurance, a nice local problem. And you examine the possible solutions and you find the best one and you present that solution. And you explain why your solution is the best one in this situation. Well, is there more to it? Of course there is. Of course there is. It, it takes research. What do you know about the problem? Do you know what caused it? What are the effects of the problem now? If we do nothing, what will the effects be? What's the current situation? How long do we have before it becomes a crisis? Who has experience with this problem, either personal experience, your own, or experience um, with a similar problem elsewhere? Who's an expert on the problem? And what's that person's take on the situation? What are the other solutions out there? What makes them good? What makes them less good? What about just doing nothing? Is that a possibility? Is it a good? It's certainly a possibility, but is it a good one? And there's more. The next point is really important. There's analysis. In fact, there's a lot of analysis. Your goal is to find the best solution and identify why it's the best solution. There's analysis there. You have to anticipate objections. What do you think they will be? You have to look down the road. what might be some unintended consequences? Can you find a can you have a plan in place to mitigate those? What about a backup plan? If it doesn't go well, or if there are delays, or if your vendor dies or goes belly up, what are you going to do? This is where you're persuasive. And you're persuasive because you're incorporating three things into your essay: logos, ethos, and pathos. These are three words that Aristotle used when he talked about being persuasive. Logos is logic. Your points just make sense. You don't leave out important points and make logical leaps that cause your reader to go, "What happened here?" You don't make bad leaps. You don't say, "If we don't do this, then it's the end of the world," because it's not. And you don't call anyone names. You don't suggest that everyone is just wrong and you're right. We'll talk more about logical fallacies in another one of these little PowerPoints. You also use ethos, and ethos refers to your credibility. If you have experience with this problem, you put it in the first paragraph and you establish yourself as credible. And when you use sources, you use the best sources for this particular situation, and their credibility enhances your credibility. And the last part is pathos, and that's stories. It's appealing to emotion. And you use that when you're being persuasive as well. So, in the beginning, if you want to tell a story about your experience falling into a pothole on Main Street and ruining your car, that's a good place to put it. And you'll get some attention because other people have probably fallen into that pothole too. Use logos, ethos, and pathos. Okay, here are some possible topics. Maybe not the best, but here we go. Think about the problems in your life. What problem would you really like to focus on? Would it be repairing potholes or building a new school or repairing the existing one? Are you thinking about opening a new business? And what are the problems that you would face there? And what would the best solution be? Are you thinking about closing a business? And if you do that, what are the problems inherent in that action? Are you trying to find ways to get cheaper resources for students? For example, textbooks are usually pretty expensive. What should colleges do in order to assign less expensive textbooks to their students? Because, as you know, most students don't want to keep their textbooks because they're expensive, and some students don't even open them or buy them. And so there are solutions to that problem. If you're on the city council and have been put in charge of a major event, but you're facing pushback from some other members of the council, what's the problem and how can you fix it? This isn't a first person essay, although you can incorporate yourself just a little in the first paragraph if you'd like. This essay is about a problem that's outside of you, making your life and other people's life a misery. Handle it objectively. If you'd like to include a little bit about your experience in the first paragraph, great. From there on, make sure you're writing in the third person. The problem is, the best solution in this instance is. Now, here's the structure. First, the introduction. That makes sense. Start with a general statement of the problem, maybe your experience of the problem, and then the thesis. And the thesis will be the solution. In order to get the potholes on Main Street filled by summer, the city government needs to blah, blah, blah. Like any thesis statement, it might include the points that you'll cover in the paper. In the next paragraph or two, provide a more specific exploration of the problem, maybe the causes and the effects, and maybe the effects if nothing is done, because that's always a possibility. Then address the other alternative solutions. Follow that up with a paragraph or two on why your solution is the best one and why. The why is the analysis. The why is what will make it persuasive. Then start a new paragraph on the steps that need to be taken to implement your solution. Your troubleshooting area might be a paragraph or two. Anticipate objections, justify feasibility, anticipate delays and deadlines. And finally, your conclusion presents the benefits of your solution and how success can be measured. Incorporate your sources where they fit best. Remember, no more than 3. Cite them both within the body of the paper and on the references page using the APA style. So, good luck. This one's going to be fun.